This is what I eat for breakfast most days. I go for oatmeal. So let me walk you through what I'm making and why each ingredient actually matters. So I grab my favorite pot for making my oatmeal in, because if I use a small pot, then I genuinely don't make oatmeal for 12. I don't measure anything, I just pour, and I'm not actually going to finish making this probably by the time this video is over. So I'm pouring in my oatmeal, and I'm using the old-fashioned rolled oats for the oatmeal. I usually use the Costco ones, but I ran out, and last time I was at Costco, they didn't have any. Also, I add chia seeds, and I just want to let you know that I am a registered holistic nutritionist, and this is my go-to breakfast, and I am trying to help you eat better in this economy. And I live in Canada, so food is really expensive right now. This whole thing costs maybe $1.50. So next to that, I am going to add some chia seeds. I add everything first, and then I add my water. You can use an oat milk or almond milk or whatever milk you want. I just buy it in bulk, and then I put it into my handy-dandy jars. Next, I'm going to add cranberries for a touch of sweetness. Sometimes I'll add dates. Sometimes I will add frozen berries, because frozen this time of year for me is way healthier and better for me than buying anything from the store. And I just kind of eyeball things. I have no idea. This is about 2 handfuls. I'm breaking them apart a little bit because dried cranberries stick together. Go for the ones that are not sweetened, because they are sweet enough once they're dried, so you really don't need any added extra sugar. And I just keep everything in a mason jar when I'm not using it. Next, I'm going to add some cashews. You can be fancy and chop them up, or you can break them by hand, which is what I do. Also, I'm adding some walnuts. Obviously, my lids don't want to come off. And again, I'm not going to chop them up. I will just break them up by hand. When you cook them, they will soften so that your body can actually absorb them a little bit better. And for my cashews, I just break them in half with my fingers and throw them in the bowl. So this is adding a ton of protein for me. All in all, I think this adds up to be about 20 to 22 grams of protein by the end is when this is all said and done. If you add a plant-based milk, might add a little bit more protein, but where I'm just adding water, maybe it's a little bit less for those of you who are obsessed with protein. The other things that you are getting from these ingredients is magnesium and zinc and omegas and fiber, because we don't eat nearly enough fiber. We are all bound up and full of shit, quite literally full of shit. Also, walnuts, brain food. They're shaped like your brain, so eat more. Cashews are fantastic for you. They're a sweeter nut. You can make cashew milk out of them. You can make walnut milk out of these walnuts as well if you want. So there's a couple of benefits, and this is kind of my go-to breakfast. I live in Canada. It's winter. It's cold. So I like to have a nice warm breakfast, and for me, this fills me up so that I'm not reaching for snacks at about 10 a.m. This is afternoon for me right now. I just wanted to get this video made and put up for you guys so you can see how I eat. And this is my kitchen in all its glory. I will put it on, and I'll show you how much water I put in as well. The chia seeds are really good at helping keep you full and keeping you fuller longer. And by just adding the water, they will thicken up the oatmeal a little bit without making it go gelatinous, because I know you can make chia pudding out of chia seeds. And if you don't like that gelatinous taste, then this is a great way of eating them. Also, this is healthy. It's real food. We need to eat more real food ingredients and not so much shit. Also, you could buy a protein bar and have all of these quote-unquote same ingredients in it, but it's made in a lab, and goodness only knows how healthy it's going to be for you. So that's it. That is everything in my pot. Now I'm going to fill it up at the sink So I'll keep talking while I'm filling it up. Just a little cold water. And then I'll show you how much water I put in. Basically, I'm just kind of covering all the ingredients because the oatmeal and the chia seeds will absorb. And when you add the water, you can see that the chia seeds actually float to the top. I don't know how well you can actually see that. But basically, I've just covered everything with the water. I'm putting it on. And I'm going to put it on my stove and just turn it on low. This takes maybe, I don't know, 7 to 10 minutes to make. So it's pretty quick. And also you can have this as an overnight oat if you want. So you could just put all of the ingredients into a mason jar, layering everything in, stir it all up when you're done with your water or your milk, and it will be very tasty. I just hate cold food. I'm not a big ice cream fan. If I'm going to have ice cream, I'm going to have it on a cone. I just prefer my food warm. I know, I'm weird. My other go-to breakfast that I will do is eggs. I like, and I buy farm fresh eggs when I have my eggs. So those are also good to have. And if you want me to break this down for you, you are getting your soluble fiber, which has beta-glucan in it, from your oats, which helps to lower cholesterol. So, or at least that's what research tells us. And it's going to keep you full for hours. Also regulates your blood sugar. You can add a dash of cinnamon into that as well if you are concerned about your blood sugar spiking and maybe you're wearing one of those blood glucose monitors. The cinnamon will help to balance out the blood sugar and keep everything level throughout the day. And there's about 5 grams of fiber in a half a cup of dry oats. I use more than that, but I'm only going to eat half of that pot. The other thing too is I will use it as a lunch if I've made too much, because again, I call it oatmeal for one. It's probably more like oatmeal for 4 if you're actually doing serving sizes. I will also use hemp hearts to put on top. These are great. They're just, if you haven't seen them, they are nice and nutty. Oh, shoot, there goes my jar. The joy of mason jars. And then I will also add some shredded coconut to it, because shredded coconut has your medium chain fatty acids, which is really good for you. I'm sure you've probably heard of bulletproof coffee, unless you've been living under a rock. Maybe, I don't know. But also coconut is really good for you as well. All of these are giving you tons of fiber, tons of magnesium. You're getting magnesium from the cashews, which most of us are deficient in, as well as zinc. You are getting lots of healthy fats, and the cashews probably have about 2 grams of protein. Walnuts are giving you your omega-3s, which is good for your brain. Again, that's why they're shaped like brains, because they're brain food, and your brain really loves them. Plus, your brain needs fats. This whole fat-free diet thing that we were on for years, not good for us. Also anti-inflammatory, so it's going to help for those of us who have arthritis or stiff joints, especially in the morning. I don't know about you, but I definitely groan and moan a lot more getting up off of the sofa and out of bed than I used to when I was in my 20s. Cranberries for the flavor. They also are full of vitamin C. They've got antioxidants, and also good for your urinary health, male or female. We all need some help with that. And they are just as nutritious as fresh, but fresh is always better. You are getting less sugar in the fresh cranberries than you are in the dried cranberries, because anytime you dry fruit, it just really concentrates the sugar. So that will always spike the blood sugar. But again, if you throw in a pinch of cinnamon into that, or as much cinnamon as you like, if you're a huge cinnamon fan, that will help to balance the blood sugars throughout the day. And with the hemp hearts and the coconut, we are getting about 10 grams of protein. That's 10 grams of protein. Also your omega-3s and omega-6s, more magnesium, iron, and zinc. And as I mentioned, you're getting those medium chain triglycerides, MCTs, from the coconut, which is going to give you energy. Also fiber from there as well. And that's it. That's my breakfast. It's not fancy. It's not Instagram worthy. It tastes amazing. Certainly doesn't look pretty. I am also primarily plant-based, so therefore I'm not tearing down anything from the Amazon rainforest. For us here in Canada, oats are readily available because they are grown in the prairies. My nuts, I know, they've traveled a ways, but I try and do my best where I can. I'm not here to kill the planet, but I'm also not trying to save it. I'm just trying to do my best not to harm it any further. And it's going to keep me full until lunchtime. So if you like it as an overnight oat, again, do it, but cold's not my thing. I like it warm. So the benefits, for a quick recap for you guys, probably if I added the plant-based milk in it, I would be getting about 21 to 22 grams of protein. I'm probably getting a little less by just having it with the water, which I should probably check on that on the stove. Let me grab my favorite spoon here. Yes, as an adult, I do have a favorite spoon, and I do prefer wooden spoons. So I'm going to give it a little stir and just cooking it low. If you are in a rush, you can certainly cook it faster for sure, bringing it to a boil more rapidly. I just prefer not to. I'd rather cook it slower and enjoy my coffee while it's cooking. And it's real food, real ingredients. I don't know if you're an oatmeal person or not. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Or maybe oatmeal gives you ick. Let me know what you like to eat for breakfast. I will see you in the next one. Bye.